Okay, so today's another day, and basically what I did after the last shot of video is I went ahead, plugged all the nail holes on all the frames, and then I went ahead and gave them all a light sanding. So right now, here's the pile we got, and I believe it's a total of about 13, and I'm getting ready to paint them. And as you can see, I've set up kind of a paint area here. But once I paint it, I'll go ahead and move the frame over to here. And then I got another area down here where I can set the frames up and allow them to dry. And they're going to need 2 coats. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 coats of paint on. I'll probably do one today because I have other stuff I want to do. And then I'll do another coat tomorrow morning. And the reason why is the walls are already painted. So because the walls are already painted, I'll just go ahead and when I put these up, if it needs any caulking, I'll do that. But I'll go ahead and touch them up, touch up the nail holes. I'll plug up the nail holes and I'll touch them up with paint, and then those walls will be done. And you'll see what I do here when the process gets started. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and set up my paint tray, which I have right here, all ready to go. Got a little roller here, this size roller, it's small, and then a small paintbrush. And what I'll do is I'll roll the paint out, and then I'll feather out the paint if I have to with the brush. And then I'll go ahead and set the frame aside to dry. The other thing I'm going to do is change into what I call one of my dirty paint shirts that I keep down here in the shop. That way there I don't spoil this decent sweatshirt. And I'll go ahead and get started. So, stick around. Okay, so I got the first coat of paint on. You can see, got this little assembly area for drying set up. That one there was already dry. I had to move it down to make room for others, just like this one here. And I have these ones who are all drying, and then a couple that are already dry over here. Like I said, there's like 13 frames, and it's kind of a pain in the tail painting these. You're better off using some type of soft roller unless you want to just brush it out all the way. But I'm going to let these dry a little bit, and then I'm going to do a second coat. I was going to wait till tomorrow, but I think I'll just knock it out today. That would be the better option. So, okay, I'll get back to this. And then the next step is going to be hanging these. And that's when it's going to dramatically change the look of that room. So, we'll see you on the next one. Good morning, everyone. So today is a new day, and yesterday I spent painting the frames, and today I'm going to hang them. So I'm going to show you what I have here right now. you can see I have all the frames lined up on the wall. But when I put them on, they have to be equally spaced up and down and left and right. So this frame here will line up with the edge of this trim, which will provide a 3-inch spacing to the next frame. And I made a little mark on the wall to make sure I'm accurate, and it's going to go like that all the way down and around. You can see I got a couple frames over here. This wall I'm going to do next week, but I will get the wall over here. So this will look nice when it's done. Now, one of the things I tend to use is this here jig that I made. And what it is 3-inch spacing up and down. When I use this, it makes the job a lot easier. However, when I get under the window, I'm going to have to do a little bit different there because this is too long or high for the window. But I'll figure that out when I get there. A couple other points I'm going to do is, one, I'm going to use 2-inch finish nails, and that'll, think about it, it's a 1/2 inch through the framing, a 1/2 inch through the drywall, and then another inch into, hopefully I can hit some studs here and there. If I don't hit studs, I'll toenail it, and I'll show you how that's done when I get to it. And the other thing is I use a little bit of construction adhesive on the back to help keep it close to the wall. So adhesive, nails, and this all should go according to plan. All right, so as you can see, I'm in kind of a tight space between a cabinet here and the wall. But the first thing I like to do is go ahead and put some dollops of adhesive on the back of the panel. So I'll go ahead and do that. You don't need much. Just go ahead and throw a couple dollops on. And this here, it's just liquid nails. And it's basically all construction adhesive. And it works great for what I'm doing here. And this just helps keep it close to the wall. Then, as I said, this is my spacer. So if I put this right up here, put it into the wall, and then take my panel. Now, and then take my frame. I did put a couple marks for studs, so I'll know where a stud is so I can hit it. And there's one over here. Now I'll go ahead and press these up. So my stud is supposedly right here. And I think I hit pay dirt there. Now some of these areas don't have studs, so that's good there. So sometimes I don't have a stud, like I have no stud over here, so I just go ahead and toenail it at an angle. And with the adhesive and the nail, it should hold it in. Okay, so there's one. And in a minute, once I put this other one up, I'll go ahead and wipe down whatever adhesive may have come out. And that way, and neaten it up a little bit. So now we'll go over to the next one. And it's the same process. Go ahead, put a couple dollops on. And carefully bring over the frame. Now I know I have a stud right here, so I'm just going to make a little mark. And I have another one over here. And I'll just make a little mark there, something you can barely see. That's where I'll nail first, is on the studs. One. Oh, geez, that's no good. So sometimes that happens. I'm gonna have to fix that. So as you can see, this is all coming along. The nail blew out on the top. I'll fix that up here. And now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and finish this whole wall. So I'm just gonna set this camera down. I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so it's been a relatively long day here working, putting these frames up. And one thing you gotta watch out is whether they lean down or not on the opposite end that I had my spacer on. That happened to me once, and I actually had to pull the frame off, and I made sure it didn't happen again. But this is what it's looking like. Not too shabby. All the way around. Over here on the back wall, and on the other side I have another panel. The only wall that isn't done is this one. I'll take care of that wall in the next couple days, and the reason why I didn't do it yet is I had enough of an assembly line with these 13 frames that this is going to be another 6, and it just makes it easier. Plus, the next step will be to plug all the holes that I made with the nail gun, along with doing some caulking around here and there, and then I'll touch it all up, make it look spiffy, and this room will be looking good. I don't know, I'm over here in the sunlight. I think I'll close this video out right now and go ahead and say thank you for watching. Thank you for following along. You know, basically all I'm gonna do is more of the same on the other wall, so I don't need to get into all that, but you do get the gist of how this room is gonna look. Now, what's cool is if we wanted to, we could take that blue paint on the wall and just paint it all white. And it is a nice look to have that all white with those frames being somewhat of a relief off the wall. And you never know, we may do that. I don't know. But right now we're going to stay with blue, see how it looks. And anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe to my channel. All the best to all, and happy adventuring.